WZR Radio starts now. You can call into the show at 724-444-7444 using call ID 30273#.
I'm coming up for air so I can check myself again and I stand proven to the man but sheltered confidence again.
Now, here's your hosts, Ryan Clark and Jose Rivera.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to the February 10th edition of WZR Radio, here exclusively on WZROnline.com and several other websites. It all depends on where you came from, but nonetheless, I'm as always your host, Ryan Clark, and we're going to be here for about the next 2 hours, as always, leading you guys into ECW tonight. That's actually going to be a live show because they're out on the West Coast tonight. So we're going to lead you into that. We're going to talk Against All Odds, which was Sunday night, the TNA pay-per-view, and we had Monday Night Raw last night, which featured the return of Ric Flair and a main event of The Undertaker versus Randy Orton. So we've got a lot to talk about with Against All Odds and Raw. Like I just said, we've got a lot of backstage news, some stuff that hasn't been put up on any of the websites, and your live phone calls as well. We'll take phone calls in our numero dos. But before we get to all of that, a guy that debuted here on WZR Radio last week did an amazing job. I actually called him after the show went off the air last week and said, Jose, you outshined me on my own radio show, man. So did an awesome job last week, and we got him back again tonight, and for all the future shows throughout 2009 and beyond. At least that's my hope. Jose Rivera from Stamford, Connecticut. What's up, brother?
Say hello to the bad guy.
Say hello to the bad. I like that, man. Yeah, it goes good with that.
I just been watching a little old school WWE WrestleMania. I figured, I've seen all these little footages during Monday Night Raw, and I said to myself, you know what, let me just go ahead and YouTube via WrestleSiteCommunity.com, and I said, cheap plug, let me go ahead and view some old school footages, and I said, one of the ones that I enjoyed the most was Razor Ramon. I was like,
that works good, man. See, that works good with your accent, man. It flows well, you know what I'm saying?
It usually works that way. That's kind of like what I try to flow with.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, we got, like I just said, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I know we had a TNA pay-per-view this past weekend. We had Raw last night. I know you caught Raw early this morning. You didn't see Against All Odds, though, right?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I got a thing of I mean, nothing against TNA fans and its products, but I can't justify my budget currently right now to order a TNA pay-per-view.
You know, I'll tell you what, if there was one TNA pay-per-view that you weren't going to order, it was Against All Odds from Sunday. That, I mean, from top to bottom, it felt like I was watching a bad episode of Impact on Thursday night, and I'm kind of like you, man. I don't throw down the $29. I actually don't even throw down the $39 for WWE pay-per-views. I probably shouldn't say it, but I get the streams online. You know what I mean?
I kind of write it off. So to me, I'm cool with that. I can do a little thing my accountant does, and technically it's work. So I kind of write off the WWE pay-per-views, but TNA is just they haven't earned my money just yet.
Yeah, you know what it is. See, I do the UFC pay-per-view. I order because I have a lot of people that come over for UFC. We usually have about 15 people here. The same 10 or 15 people that come over every time come over for the UFC. So I feel like it's an obligation, for me to order that. So that's $50 right there. And that's like you said, it's a tax write-off at the end of the year. So it kind of works out. But when you get a UFC, there's one UFC per month, and then you get a TNA pay-per-view, one per month, and then you get a WWE pay-per-view, one per month. 3 out of your 4 weekends during the month are taken up by live pay-per-views and work, and it adds up, man. I mean, at $40 a pop, what are you looking at? $120, $130 at the end of the month added on to your cable and internet bill, which is combined here. So it adds up, man. So I usually get the streams of the TNA and WWE. I got a bookie that I deal with, and it saves me good money. You know what I mean? Plus they have these websites online now. I won't say because it kills my coverage. You guys, all those guys that go over and they watch the streams. It's like the new thing. You can stream stuff on these stream websites, and you guys kill my freaking pay-per-view traffic with that. But so be it.
So we can't release that information, but you can certainly go on online and do what you want to do.
Oh yeah,
in order to get it to working for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, speaking of going online, we've got a live chat room. It's WZROnline.com /chat. I see you in there. I'm in there as well, and we'll take live questions out of the live chat room here throughout the show. Like I said, we're going to take live phone calls in hour number 2 once we get through Against All Odds Raw and some of the news. And I like taking live phone calls. I mean, we took a bunch last week, and we'll do it again tonight in hour
cool.
number.
I mean, you interact with users, you talk to them, and it's not even so much of questions or anything like that. Sometimes maybe you want to make a comment on something that we talked about, and you just want to share some information with us. Go right ahead. I mean, it's definitely something that we're open to is open communication. Call in and let's talk wrestling.
That's always been a major feature here on WZR Radio is the live phone calls, and try to be as interactive as possible. You know, the live chat room, live phone calls now number 2. Do it every single Tuesday night from 7 to 9 Eastern Time, and it works out well, man, because people are coming back on a weekly basis, which is always a good thing, you know?
It's a very good thing.
A very good thing. WZROnline.com /chat to get into the live chat room. What else? We got the official website of WZR Radio. You guys probably know this by now. It is WZROnline.com. Guys, go ahead and change your bookmarks. I know some of you guys got WZRradio.com. You have that up on your bookmarks. That used to be our former website, but it's changed over now. WZROnline.com, the official website of WZR Radio. And for some of you guys, I was told to say this by the webmaster of the site. We've got the RSS feed, which is a feed if you guys all the news that I put up on the main news board. If you guys link to that. We have that now fixed. It wasn't working over the past few weeks since we did the server switch. So the RSS feed over at WZROnline.com is now working. And guys, go ahead, get yourself a username and account there too, and sign up. And speaking of usernames and accounts and all that stuff, we talked about it last week here on the show. You debuted this new website, right? And it's called WrestleCommunity.com. And just over the last week, man, I mean, I looked at the traffic today, early this morning. I think you got like over 200 signups in a week. And it's like, I can compare it to MySpace, right? I mean, that's cool. It's just like it's like a MySpace.com, but for wrestling fans. You know what I mean? Tell people about it, because I know, I mean, you got a ton of signups in 1 week, which I was kind of shocked, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny because I've gotten a lot of messages from a lot of the users and just thanking me on creating on a website that caters to us wrestling fans, because every industry has some sort of social network, and I decided to say to myself, all right, well, what can we do to help all these communities out in the terms of the wrestling industry and communicate and share thoughts and share fun ideas, and that's where WrestleCommunity.com come about. You know, like I explained to you last week. We have a YouTube feed. Now it's actually more broader than before. Before it was only WWE clips. Now it's TNA, anything wrestling related. We have that. We have the chats as well. You can chat with individuals. You can send messages. We don't have hugs. We don't have winks. We don't have kisses. We have beer. You can send a beer out to one of your friends online, and of course, Wrestle Community does not endorse the uses of drinking. At least
to underage people. I mean, if you're 21,
I got to throw that out there, disclaimer out there. But again, overall, it's a fun community, man. I mean, it's just jumping. People are just coming online. People from all over the world, which is even more of a shock to me, because I've seen a lot of people from Ireland, from UK. I mean, of course, here in the States as well. But we're getting a lot of individuals from overseas, which is awesome, because now they're finding a place to go to and to share pictures, to share thoughts of pro wrestling.
Who is it? It was I think it's Lil Wayne 20 in the chat room. I'm seeing him. He says he signed up there. I think that's Wayne Daly, I think he said his name is, but I think he's one of the guys that's really helped you out over there over the past week. One of the guys that has signed up, and I mean they signed up and really have been interacting with lots of different people. And to see 200 sign-ups in a week is pretty crazy, man. I mean, to have that amount of people that have actually signed up, entered their username, all their details, you know what I mean, signed up, and have actually started chatting. It's awesome to see. So if you want to check that out, Jose's brand new little community, I like to call it the MySpace, like wrestling's version of MySpace. It's only for wrestling. It's like wrestling fans, but everybody on there is a wrestling. You know what I mean? It's like MySpace.com, but everybody on there is a wrestling fan. So, does that make sense? Yeah. So, I mean, check it out. It's WrestleCommunity.com and sign up. I know all you guys are diehards. You guys are in the chat room every week. You sign up. Some of those guys are there at like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekly basis on Tuesday afternoon. So that's awesome to see. And if you want a cool new feature, something new, you know what I mean? I mean, I know
it's something else to interact. I know sometimes I come online and especially like after a pay-per-view or a Monday Night Raw, or you got pictures in the old shoebox that you want to scan, and you got a picture with Kurt Angle or Mr. T or some sort of wrestling celebrity of some form of way. If it's old school, new school, Ring of Honor pictures. Again, it's a cool spot to do that, because MySpace to me is it's more broad. Obviously, you have millions of people coming online here. Exactly, it's a small community, and hopefully it will grow into a bigger community. It's not run by a corporation like the WWE, which they're kind of restrain you on doing certain activities. Here, you can just shoot from the hip and just enjoy. And the cool thing about it is users get points. You send out a message, you get points. And eventually, once we grow a little further, we'll end up offering free prizes to redeem those points. And I know Wayne and some other individual, I think David, if memory serves me correct, are kind of going at it between the first place. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Hey, I told you at the start of the show, Jose, I said, man, I'm going to give that site a nice, big, fat, juicy plug at the start of WZR. Not bad, huh? Not bad, huh?
I applaud you. I appreciate it. Much love.
All right, no doubt. Hey, let's what else we got? Let's move on to wrestling news against all odds. We had the TNA Impact tapings. Those were last night, and they are taping another episode tonight. Last night's show was for this Thursday, and tonight's tapings are for next week's Thursday night Impact. So we'll have the next 2 weeks of Impact taped after tonight. The spoilers for this week's show are already on the main news board. We put those up on the website last night. So WZROnline.com has all that stuff. We've got SmackDown taping tonight. It's not a double SmackDown taping. It's just a single. ECW is actually going to air live tonight. I believe they're out on the West Coast. They were in Oakland last night. I think, if memory serves me correct, they are in Fresno tonight, but I don't. Right. Yeah, I think it sounds
somewhere
right.
In California.
Yeah, somewhere out in California. So with that said, I mean ECW when they're out in Cali, that show will air tonight. We'll get off the air here by 9 o'clock, so you guys can go check out that. It's always fun when it's live. You know what I mean? Tape shows it doesn't have that feel to it. You know what I mean?
It's it is. Ever since SmackDown came on TV, they were like, oh, go live. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of money. I mean, this was actually when they had the Titantron. I'm not sure how much it is now, but it normally costs almost $50,000, just $50,000 just to put that big Titantron on there, not including all the other productions and the time consuming.
You know,
I mean, it takes a while. It takes a day.
Let me just interrupt you. Do you know how much it costs to produce a live show now with the high definition?
Exactly. If you catch the show at some times, you may see a match going on, and then out of nowhere the volume goes a little higher.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
probably because they just added that volume. I mean, perfect example when they canceled the Triple H was number one, and obviously the announcers. The whole entire show, most segments at least, were a little bit louder. And then when you catch the lower volumes of the show, that is probably when you know that they actually recorded at the actual event. So it's just kind of an
yeah, and you really, I mean, they do such a good job at it. I mean, people like me and you, I mean, we cover this stuff, so I mean, that's things that we kind of look for, you know. That's what kind of sucks about covering the wrestling business. You know what I mean? Is we're not surprised. I have to put up the spoilers on a weekly basis. I get them sent through email. Usually there's fans in attendance, and we'll get email reports, and you know, I have to read through that. So it's nothing's a surprise to me. And then part of my job is to look for things like that, and I can tell when it's done, but the volume thing makes perfect sense. Some segments will be higher volume than other segments. You know what I mean? I mean, there are ways that you can tell, but if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't. It would probably just pass you by, and you wouldn't even notice. You know?
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we've got a ECW. Like I said, is going to air live. SmackDown is going to be taped. After that, we'll have the SmackDown tapings up. It's going to be late, guys. Probably about 2 a.m. is my guess. Maybe 1:30 a.m. Is my guess for when they will be up on the website. Got a guy that's going to email me later, but being that it's in California, it is going to be a late night for you guys on the East Coast. So, or you can just catch them in the morning. You can go to sleep and catch them in the morning. Because I know a lot of you guys probably got school or work in the morning. What else happened, man? My weekend, it was boring. Nothing really happened. It was a UFC event on Saturday night. Had a couple people over for that. I actually got tanked, man. I don't know how I got myself so tanked, man. Like watching
feeling it out?
I don't know, man. Come about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I was wobbly, man. I don't even know, man. I woke up Sunday morning like, whew, where did I get myself into? You know what I mean? But anyways, UFC was pretty good. There wasn't a lot of big name fighters on there, but nonetheless, it was all right. I bet Boone lost at the end. I was like $10 down or something like that. But whatever. So that's what I did over the weekend. You have anything exciting in Stanford?
Not really. You know, I try to go to New York City because, you know, Stanford is only about 35 minutes, 40 minutes how fast I drive. To get down there, we went out to, you know, one of the clubs down there and came back home. And to be honest with you, man, I've been working my ass off on that Wrestle Community site. So that's kind of like the fun stuff. Nothing really exciting, nothing wrestling related, but just trying to keep myself occupied and busy and can't wait, you know, for Raw to come on. And, of course, we have our show and pay-per-view this Sunday.
Pay-per-view this Sunday. No Way Out coming up this Sunday. This Sunday night. I've actually got the card here in the show file a little bit further down, which we will talk about here probably in our numero dos. Hey, let's talk about get into some wrestling here. We'll run down Against All Odds. I know you didn't see it. I saw it via stream on the internet, and man, you didn't miss much, man. It was it was me, my personal. I mean, usually we give these things school letter grades, and shoot, man, I want to be nice. But I'll say
shoot from the hip. Come on, let's go. If people want to hear the truth. If it sucked, it sucked.
All right.
Sugarcoat it. Can you tell that I'm not a big TNA fan?
Well, see, I am, dude. The deal with TNA, I give them credit, man. Usually the pay-per-views are worth ordering. You know, they give you good wrestling. The wrestling is great, and they keep the storyline aspect to a minimum, you know. But, this was top. It was like the best way to describe it was a throwaway show leading into Ultimate X. A D. I guess a D as the school letter grade. I was going to be nice and say C minus, but I got to go D. There just wasn't. I mean, I don't know, the stuff that should have delivered. Like I was actually looking forward to like matches like Scott Steiner and Petey Williams. You know, they had built that up for months and months and months. Even Matt Morgan versus Abyss, which turned out to be a huge.
Yeah, I like Abyss.
Yeah, I like Abyss too. He's one of the gimmicks. He's one of the homemade TNA gimmicks, if you will. You know what I mean? Abyss started that gimmick in TNA, and he's like the I don't know, the Kane of WWE when he used to wear a mask and used to be, you know, a crazy monster. But Abyss is one of those guys that, you know, was homegrown out of TNA and debuted that gimmick in TNA and has really, you know, ran with it. I like the fact that, you know, I mean, do you like is it the name, Stan? Is it the name value like WWE has names like Triple H, you know? Is it
no,
that?
It's the product and how you introduce the product. And to me, when I watch TNA, I watch it as, you know, a watered down WCW. It's their way that they write the matches, the way how they do. See, I like the show based on everything. Wrestling, TNA, I enjoy it. I mean, that's what caught me in the first place. Was to watch TNA was because they put wrestling on. And the X Division, that's what caught me. You know, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. You know, Petey Williams doing all these moves, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know,
but that's a good point because back on the Wednesday night pay-per-views, right? They used to focus on wrestling. They used to focus on that X Division. You know what I mean? And then they got the TV deal with Spike TV, and I can see where they're coming from. We had I think it was me and Richard Gray back here a couple months. No, it wasn't Richard Gray. Maybe it was Boone back in the day. But we had a debate here, and it's like, all right, when TNA, they could do that on the Wednesday night pay-per-views, the $9 pay-per-views. But then when you go and you get a TV deal, such as Spike TV, right, the whole key to having that TV deal is to pop a rating, right? You want ratings to come in. You want the Impact ratings to go up. And what draws ratings? Is it guys like Petey Williams that nobody, unless you followed the indie scene, nobody had a clue who this guy was? Eric Young, you know, Alex Shelley, nobody had any idea who these guys were. So they brought in bigger names, the Kurt Angles, the Kevin Nashes, the Stings, you know, big names, former WWE guys, right? So you bring them in, and that is what TNA feels that draws. So they kind of, my point is here is they kind of got away from they kept it there. They kept the X Division there. You still have it, but it's not focused. I mean, your main focus has shifted to the main event guys. And, you know, I agree with that. I can see where they're going, but I can see where your diehard TNA fan base, the guys, it's like, reminds me of like Ring of Honor, how they have that diehard niche fan base, you know what I mean, where all they want to see is wrestling. But when it comes down to things, wrestling doesn't sell. Wrestling's not going to give you that 2.0.
You got to grow your fan base. You got to grow that fan base, and if you stick with wrestling, you're just going to stick with that fan base. And that's what I understand about TNA's concept, you know. But when I see WWE's writing, and not saying that they're like the best, because we all know they suck in so many ways. And then when I see TNA's, it's just, you know, the way how Booker T works his material, how Kurt Angle's Kurt Angle. I can watch him all over, and he's just funny. But it just doesn't completely, just probably because I'm old school and I've grown up with the WWE product, because, I mean, WCW, I was a big fan of WCW, but it never took me over. But again, to me, is I'll see TNA as always a second-rated product behind WWE.
Sure. I mean, TNA has its pros too. I mean, yeah.
You got the X Division. They shine superstars that you're not familiar with, like exactly how you said, the Petey Williams, the Eric Youngs, the Alex Shelley. I've never heard of these people before. I've heard them in the industry as independent scenes, but I never really heard any of them before. They shine in TNA, and that's something that when I used to watch ECW originally, I used to like ECW, not because Sandman came in and caned somebody across the head. I mean, I liked it too. But I like the Lucha Libre. I like the Rey Mysterios, against Psychosis. And to me, that's kind of like how I wish ECW is now. Beginning of the show, get some lucha libre in there, get some real good, like, holy shit, did he just do that? I want to do that to, I want to do that to my boy, and that's one thing that I adore TNA, and that's one thing that I would say to this day, that's what, between WWE and TNA, you're going to see more wrestling, but when they start doing the storylines, they're like, dude, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Oh, see, I mean, the main event Mafia. I think this main event Mafia versus Frontline storyline is this is TNA's, in my opinion, this is TNA's best storyline to date. Their biggest storyline to date, and one of their best storylines to date. But then when we talk about things like Governor Palin, with Daphne playing, I mean, that stuff is brutal to watch, but WWE has stuff,
freaking look at Kane's, with that,
Kane or Goldust and people like that, so TNA and WWE, they both have their pros and cons. I just, sometimes I feel that, maybe it's just the bigger, more known names that draw people into WWE, and that's why they do that constant 3.5 and above rate.
But for a new fan, like a TNA fan, you need to captivate me. You need to keep me going. You need to say, oh, wow, this is actually pretty cool. And what you're saying now is I can, I'm more appealed to it. How you're telling me and how you explain it, I'm more appealed to it. But again, it just reminds me of the NWO. It reminds me of things that I just said to myself, okay, all right, if I miss TNA, I'll be all right.
Yeah. This is just. It's funny because honestly, this is just my opinion. I know you feel differently because you're a big fan of WWE. But honestly, that when I watch Raw or Impact on a weekly basis, and you know what, I gotta be honest with you, I gotta give it to Raw. Over the past couple of months, Raw has really bounced back for me, and it's a must-see show every Monday night, especially leading into WrestleMania, because now you've got your major angles. But there was a time in 2008 where TNA Impact was the top-rated show for me every week, above Raw. I was more a fan of TNA Impact than I was WWE Raw. I know we kind of got to move on, but let me ask you this. Just in the last, with the main event Mafia, you said that the things that I was, because you're not, you don't really watch TNA. You tune in, every so and then. But just from me talking, and these angles that are upcoming, Booker T and AJ Styles, and the main event Mafia versus Frontline storyline. Will you give it a shot? Give it a shot and see if it's changed, since the last time that you have seen it. Because it seems to me, that you were upset that they weren't using the older guys that they have there to kind of put over the new guys. And I believe, over the last couple of months, the main event Mafia has been getting the better of the front line, and they've been taking them out week after week. And I think it's time now that the tides are going to kind of turn, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have the front line, which is going to come out on top here in the next several months, and then eventually the front lines will be when it's all said and done, the front line will be the victors of the angle, if you will. Just like in the next couple of weeks, just see if it's changed any, and then in a couple of weeks here on WZR Radio, if you're around on Thursday night, just give it a shot and tell me if you think that creative is doing a better job than they have been, maybe since the last time you've watched their product. How long?
I promise you. I actually have 2 episodes of TNA still. They don't get deleted. I watch them when I can. It's been a while, though. But you're right. It has been a while. I haven't really had a chance to really sit down and analyze the show and take a look at it. But I will. I'll promise to you this Thursday, I'll sit down and as drugged up as I can be. No, I'm just joking. Prescription. And just say to myself, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and sit down and watch the show, and let's see what type of concept this show has to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will.
Exactly.
And then next Tuesday, we'll talk about it a little bit more further in detail. I'll let you know exactly how I feel.
No doubt.
I like this, though. I'm feeling this, though.
Yeah, no doubt. Just see if your mind has kind of changed a little bit, because I think right now they're doing a fantastic. This is just my opinion, but they're doing a fantastic job of using younger talent in the front line versus this main event Mafia feud. And I mean, this is the main storyline on TNA Impact on a weekly basis. So just give it a shot, and then we'll talk about it maybe next week or in a couple weeks down the road, and we'll see. If your opinion has changed or been altered a little bit,
I'll definitely take a look at it.
All right, no doubt. Hey, let's back to Against All Odds. We got sidetracked there for a minute. That was good, man. I like when we get into good discussion like that. It's like a good debate. It was good. That was good right there, man. I like it.
It's good. It's you have your title and opinion, I have mine, but the bottom line is there's no winners here.
No.
The fans are listening. Actually, the fans are the winners in that respect, because they're listening to two different individuals talk about two different products.
Yeah, no doubt. And one guy that is a long time fan of WWE, and another guy that's a long time fan of WWE. But I just I give TNA more credit than a lot of people do. You know what I mean? So I just want to hear it.
Sometimes their storylines are.
Yeah, dude, I'm the first to admit that. I mean, like the Governor Palin ship, that was terrible, and it still is. And now they're going to bring in, who is it, Rob Blagojevich or something?
Don't even get me started with that. I'm a straight shooter. If I tell you, if I think Raw sucks and WWE sucks, I'm going to tell you. And that's when the fans will know. I'm not going to hold back. If it's TNA, WWE, CBS, NBC. In a long time. This is like the high point of the show for me. That was the Styles promo, which doesn't say much, you know what I mean, as far as the pay-per-view is concerned. But looks like I just talked about Booker T and AJ Styles. It's going to be a new program. They followed that up. I won't spoil it for you, but at the Impact tapings last night, they followed up on that angle. Abyss, Matt Morgan, I talked about it earlier. We talked about it. I expected more. That storyline's been built up for several months on Impact. I remember when Beer Money Inc. actually had Abyss getting totally plastered. It might have been on a pay-per-view, but in backstage segments he was plastered. Matt Morgan eventually turned on him a couple weeks ago, and they did the match Against All Odds. After the match is over, Abyss poured the thumbtacks on the mat, but Matt Morgan escaped. So once again, they didn't do the big thumbtack spot, but if there was a place that you were going to do it, it would have been on the pay-per-view, you know what I mean? You don't want to put that stuff on Impact. That's the type of stuff that people pay that $29 for a TNA pay-per-view for, you know what I mean? It's to see those big spots, to see the flaming tables, to see the tack spots in the hardcore matches, Those moments.
Those moments.
Pay-per-view more special.
Exactly. The match of the night, in my opinion, was Beer Money Inc. over Lethal Consequences, the team of, I like that name, Lethal Consequences. It's a team of Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed. You can find the two names, you get Lethal Consequences, and they had a tag team match. Finished the match, Jacqueline, who was at ringside, she tossed in a chain to, I believe it was James Storms, wrapped it around his hands, and took out Lethal. Got the pinfall. The ref's back was turned. He didn't see the chain spot. And then our main event, we had Sting, Kurt Angle, Brother Ray, and Brother Devon. Crowd was dead by this point. The Orlando crowd is a tough crowd to impress. They hold Impact there on a bi-weekly basis when they do double tapings, and then pay-per-views have been there for a long time. So you've really got to do a lot to impress that Orlando crowd. And by this point, wasn't a good show, up until the main event. And even the main event, I expected like a major turn here with, they've been doing the Sting Kurt Angle feud where Sting hasn't been, a part of any of the main event Mafia beatdowns on the front line. He just kind of stands back out of the picture, and I expected like a Sting swerve or some sort of swerve here, something to end the pay-per-view. Something
different.
Big. And all they did was a pinfall, and then after the match was over, Mick Foley got into the ring, gave him the TNA World Title. Sting returns, and that was it. You saw Kurt Angle, who was standing there pissed off, but there was no major swerve or anything like that, to end a really, really lackluster pay-per-view, which is where you get my D as a school letter grade. I know you didn't see it, Jose, but that was against all odds, man. And I mean, you didn't miss much, man. You saved yourself $29 is the best way I can put it.
I mean, it sounds to me like it was an okay pay-per-view, but just hear how the finishes went and stuff like that. I can see why you gave that rating.
Yeah, nothing that really stood out on the event. Now let's get to something you did watch last night. Actually, let me plug the live chat room first. You guys can get to the live chat at WZROnline.com/chat. It'll take you right there. Enter as a username. You can enter as a guest too, but all you guests that are in there, just log out and come back. It only takes, Jose knows, he signed up last week. It only takes like 2 seconds to do. All you got to do is enter a username, and I don't know, maybe an email or something like that. It's nothing, guys.
It's simple. It's so quick, and not only do we know who you are, but you conversate with everyone else. I mean, you're asking questions. You want to say shout-outs. I mean, we don't give shout-outs to guests. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
No doubt. And there's something like 80 people in there tonight. I mean, it's crazy. The amount of people that come here every Tuesday night from that 7 to 9 Eastern time here every single week. All you guys. I'll do chat shout-outs here in just a little bit. I won't forget about you guys in hour number 2. So WZROnline.com/chat to get into the live chat room. I'll give out the live phone number before we go to the break here. Let's talk Raw. We'll get to as much as we possibly can before we got to go to break at 8 o'clock, and then we'll come back. We'll run down a little bit of news for about 20 minutes, and then live phone calls for the rest of the show. Leading you guys into ECW. The only match for ECW tonight on the live show is Tommy Dreamer versus The Miz. That's all I got for you guys right now. But like I said, we'll get you out of here before 9 o'clock in time for ECW. Jose, Monday Night Raw last night, man. School letter grade overall. Gotta give me a minute here to think about it. I don't know. What do you got?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I'll say this: Austin versus Jericho. If that was the lead storyline for Jericho in the WrestleMania, let me put it to you like this: from what I heard yesterday from somebody that talks to people within the company, I wouldn't rule it out. Jericho versus Austin at WrestleMania, I would definitely not rule that out. I'm not going to confirm anything, but the person that I talked to yesterday seemed fairly confident that was going to be the direction that they were taking, Austin Jericho at WrestleMania. I was going to get to that as an exclusive here later, but kind of just broke it right now. But, yeah, I mean, you did say something about that last week, no doubt, and you know what I told you? I said you're out of your mind, man. You are absolutely out of your mind. I told you off air, and just in the last week, man, because I really didn't think Austin would ever come back for another match, but in the last few weeks.
I still got people, and it's rare that I get to talk to these people, but when I do, they start flapping, and I know that's something that Vince envisioned for a while, is to align Austin with someone. I mean, it could have been Jericho, could have been someone else, but he really wanted to start a tradition, really, on some sort of retirements. Again, like I said last week, if they do a retirement match this year, it would be Austin. Next year, if The Rock's schedule permits it, because that's pretty much one of the biggest issues right now is The Rock appearing on TV, even though Jim Ross said he'll never, ever wrestle again. I mean, who thought Eric Bischoff would show up on Raw? Never say never, but that's kind of the vision that Vince has, is to make let's get these legends that haven't really truly closed the door, or at least their WWE career, and have it end at the biggest granddaddy of them all, and it makes perfect sense to have.
And hey, let's not forget that Mania 25 is in Houston, Texas, which would also
I'll be there, by the way.
And will you? You going to WrestleMania?
I'll be right there. I've gone to every WrestleMania for the last 5 years.
Live WZR radio coverage from WrestleMania, guys. You heard it first, guys. We're gonna be.
It'd be kind of hard to me because I'm literally close to ringside, so talking on the phone with all that noise in the background, it'll be a little hard. But
you'll be there. Are you going for the weekend, or are you going to be there for just the show? I mean, you'll be there.
I'm going there for the weekend. I'm not going to be there for Raw. I'm actually flying back to New York, but I'm going to definitely be there. for fan access and as well as
see that. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna break this to you, right? We got to do something, man. The people in the chat, I know they want it too, man. I definitely know they want it.
I'm gonna be going around with my camera. I'm gonna be taking pictures, and I'm actually gonna use Wrestle Community and WrestleSite.com.
Here's the thing, man. Is when I was I was out in Las Vegas last weekend and for UFC, and basically what happens, man, is we can record a live show at any point, and then we can archive it. You know what I mean? So if we could do something during that weekend with the Access event, because I know a ton of stuff goes on during that weekend. Even if it was like a 20-minute show or like a half hour, just call me up on your cell phone. You know, you could just do what we normally do to call in. You know what I mean? And then we could do something from WrestleMania weekend. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to do.
We'll definitely work on now. We can certainly talk about it offline and discuss a little bit more in detail. But it is. I'm definitely going to Houston. So.
Wow, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. You'll have some awesome stories when you come back too. Hey, it's 8:00. We got to go to a commercial break right now. I know we didn't get through Monday Night Raw. We'll come back. All we got is the matches left. We talked about Ric Flair. That was the big thing that happened on the show. We'll come back. We'll run down the matches real quick, and then you guys can call up live. I'll give you the number right now. We take the calls in the order that they are received. So if you call up, you'll be put inside a queue, and then we'll take you. So if you call up now, just stay on the line. It's 724-444-7444. Then the lady will come on and you enter call ID number 30273 followed by the pound key. Once again, 724-444-7444. Enter call ID number 30273 followed by the pound key. You guys can also join us in the live chat room at WZROnline.com/chat. And we'll do chat shout-outs and live phone calls in hour number 2. You guys are listening to WZR Radio with Jose Rivera and Ryan Clark. We'll be back right after this. And we're back, WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. Ryan Clark, Jose Rivera back with you for our numero dos. Jose, what's up, man? Ready to do this?
Let's go do it. Let's keep on rolling.
All right, no doubt. Keep on rolling. Hey, we had, speaking of that, we had The Undertaker on Raw last night. We'll get to that here in just a second. We had a Divas match. Beth Phoenix and Jillian Hall defeated Melina and Kelly. The end of this one came, Jillian attempted to interfere numerous times throughout the match, but Rosa, who is it, best new stalker, she interfered and ended up tripping up Melina, and Beth hit her what's that finishing maneuver there, the glam slam or something like that, I think is what she called it. So that was
something very painful, but I wouldn't mind having her do that to me.
No doubt. I'm with you on that one, baby.
You said that. Get off the phone. Sorry about that. Apologize.
Hey, we had Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase defeated Crime Time. There was actually, what was that? There was a promo before this, right? Something happened before this. I don't have it in the show file. Before, who can promo? JBL, was it? Randy Cena and Kofi Kingston. He's cool, man. I like Kofi, man. I like his style, man. He's got I like high flyers. Different. Yeah, I like high flyers, though. You know what I mean? Like people that just like TNA X Division guy. I'm a fan of fast-paced action. You know what I mean? Like AJ Styles. I mean, his work is absolutely off the charts. Every time he's out in the ring, you know what I mean? He's just, I mean, you don't have anything. I know you talk bad about TNA. We don't talk bad about TNA.
I don't talk bad about TNA. Where do you get that notion?
Yeah, right. You're gonna give it a shot, though, man.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
You promised, man. So, hey, all right. So what happened? Elimination Chamber. Kofi and Jericho were left in the ring. This was cool, man. Kofi went for a springboard body press, and Jericho off the well, I think it was off the middle rope, or maybe it was the top rope. Top rope. Yeah, and Jericho hit his code breaker, another finisher, right? Code breaker. Jericho hit it as Kobe was coming down. Jericho nailed him with it. That looks cool too, man. They did the replay a couple times, and Jericho's so good, man. Everything when you're in the ring with Jericho, everything clicks, man. You could be in the ring. Jericho could be in the ring with the Great Khali, and it could be match of the year. You know, that's taken a little bit too far, obviously.
You think?
Yeah, right. But I mean, you know what I mean. Jericho can carry a match. You know, with everybody, dude. Everybody.
Jericho is a great seller. I mean, he can sell you. You know, referees coming down for that 3 count, and you think the match is over, and boom, 2 seconds later. Yeah. 1 second later, his shoulder comes right up, and you thought that 3 count was going to. I mean, the man, him and Shawn Michaels, I love to see those two work.
Kurt Angle, too. You can't count
it's true.
Count Kurt.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, buddy. Hey, guys, you can get to the live chat room. Jose's in there. WZROnline.com /chat. What do you got? Give him some shout-outs, Jose. Come on, you're the new guy, man. You know, you got to get them on your side. It's not like they already hate you. You know, everybody loves you in here. Everybody in the chat room loves you.
I'm seeing names all over the place. Right now, I'm seeing Lil Wayne. Obviously, I got to give him a first shout-out. He's hooking me up a lot. He's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Big J's out there, you know, representing. Donald, me. I got your point, Donald. We got your point. You know, TNA, you know, I show love for TNA Wrestling. Show love.
Simply Walk,
Ultimate
right?
Fanatic, so.
Donald Long, 91. WWE Y2J Raw fan. Dude's in here every single week. TNA Wrestling.
Love you back, Brian Kendrick. You know, I got to.
Goldberg
sound right there, but.
They love you, man. I'm telling you, these people eat you up. I mean, it's something about you. Something, look at this.
Better than sex. I don't know about that there.
WZR is better than sex. You see that in there? Huh?
Someone give John Kruger. We got love for you. We got love for you.
You got love for everybody, man, except for the guests. All you guys, everybody that's in there.
Love for guests.
You know what I mean? No, you are good, man. You are good. I mean, these people suck up to the fans, right? Genetic Jack, right, baby. Fans every single week, man. These guys are the ones that support the websites, man. With that, if it wasn't for you guys,
that's why we do it.
I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be here today, because you guys are the ones that, and I honestly mean that, guys. I can't say that. You know, as lame as it sounds, if you guys didn't visit the website on a daily basis, I wouldn't have the money that I make. I mean, Jose owns his own advertising company. I use his ads on my website. So you guys are the ones that come to the website and you know, make me able to post the news that I'm able to post and do this full time, you know, on a daily basis for you. So as lame as it sounds,
all give each other a group hug. Hug everyone.
Group hug. Just a huge group hug.
Oh, wait. We don't do hugs or kisses. We only give beer. That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. WrestleCommunity.com. You go over to WrestleCommunity.com, you get yourself a free beer, a free virtual. Right. A free virtual.
Nice cold one. Ain't nothing wrong with a cold one.
Make it cold. You got mixed drinks over there? Is it just beer, or you got mixed drinks over there, too? You serve those up, too, or not?
Nah, we don't got mixed drinks just yet. We may open the bar after midnight, but we will talk more about that a little more. Can't really talk about that right now.
Know what I mean?
Matt Boone over there, I think he's doing a little something to drinks over there. But anyway.
No, you know.
Going raw.
Hey, once midnight hits, man, you know Matty B will be over at that open bar over there. I'll tell you what, we were in Las Vegas, man, and the guy had an open tab. God, I hope he's not listening right now, but he had an open tab, and it was Super Bowl, man, and we just drank, mixed drink, and these things, like out in Las Vegas, it's $9 or $10. I think it's $9 for a beer. Or maybe it's like $8.75 for a beer, and it's $10.25 for a mixed drink, or whatever.
Well, hook them up with Finley and have them two fight each other and show young stars, you know, kind of revolve around that angle with Regal and Finley, and then just kind of have the young guys kind of go over.
Damn it, Jose.
Did I do it again? Did I do it again?
No, my chat locked on me, man. It happens every single time during it's like so much text gets typed in the chat that it locks. It's like halfway through each show, it locks on me every time. I'm trying to get back in there.
It's all under control. Everyone's just talking BS.
Yeah, it's all under control. I'm trying to get, I think. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to get tons of errors, man. All right, the Raw main event. Talk about this, man. Watch how to get back in the chat. I think I got it, man. I just got to enter my username, and then we're good to go. But we had our main event. We had The Undertaker over from SmackDown. That was cool, you know. Undertaker on Raw is something different, you know, every week.
I like seeing The Undertaker on a Raw set. You know, every time, maybe it's just me, I'm a freak, I don't know what it is, but when I play SmackDown versus Raw, I always like to see The Undertaker's entrance on a Raw theme. It's just because we don't see it much. You know, remember we were talking about before about special moves and thumbtacks, and it's a special thing when you see, like, an Undertaker, because out of all the entire existence between Raw and SmackDown, he's the only one that really hasn't been part of Raw, at least I can think off the top of my head. And when you hear the gong and you see the lights go off and you see the red flashing because it's Raw, it's a little special. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
No. I mean, Taker's like a big name, and he's not going to be around for that much longer. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been around for a minute, maybe one or two more years probably of Taker. And you want to see him on Raw every week. Raw's Raw's their A show. You know what I mean? It's like that's a guy that you want to see every week. And I don't really SmackDown's on Friday night, and Friday night's not a good night for me to be at the house, you know, around watching wrestling. A lot of times Fridays.
You don't stay home on a Friday night to watch SmackDown?
No.
What are you going through?
Yeah, right? What a life, man. What a life. What kind of life do I have, man? All right, so main event, I want to take some live phone calls, and then we got a lot of news, too. Taker, what happened? Taker went for the choke slam. Orton countered out. Orton goes for an RKO, and Taker pushed him off. Taker went for the tombstone pile driver, and that's where the Legacy came down and did the beatdown on Taker. Shane McMahon ran out, cleared the ring. Ted DiBiase Jr. was the only guy left in there, set him up in the corner, and did the coast to coast. It was a cool way to end Raw, you know. Once again, I think that they should save spots like that for the pay-per-view. But Shane McMahon is a crazy nut, and especially this Sunday, no holds barred. You know, we talked about it last week. Shane McMahon on pay-per-view, and you add a no holds barred match. He's a nut, like I said, man, and I expect big things from that match on Sunday. So overall, Raw, if I have to give it a school letter grade, I'd give it a B- after going through that rundown.
You know what? I completely agree. Completely agree. It's the only concern that I have, and you said it perfectly, is Shane's spot at the end. I mean, again, we talked about this last week about logics when it comes to writing a show. And here you have Shane and you have DiBiase laying. I mean, why can't just Randy Orton run to ringside and grab him? I mean, I think if they teased a big spot, I personally think it would have gone more over than having the actual spot. Because you know what that means. Now you're telling the users or the viewers that Shane is going to have to do even a bigger spot because you just did one free for TV that requires maybe climbing something and going through it or putting someone on a table and flying across the ring.
Remember last week I said I expect some huge spot, like, I don't know, maybe the Titantron or something, man, something, you know what I mean, on Sunday. That major spot that he always does on a pay-per-view. I'm sure we'll see the coast to coast, you know, on the pay-per-view on Sunday too, but I expect a major spot, maybe something through the announce table, something like that. It's Shane McMahon, you know what I mean? It's pay-per-view, and you always see that from him on pay-per-view. It's just a matter of what it will be, you know, what it will kind. It all depends on what the set looks like, what the No Way Out set looks like on Sunday. You know?
It's going to be interesting. And are we going to see a swerve, or are we going to see the storyline even develop even further? You know, now that we have No Way Out this Sunday, now Monday, and that's the WrestleMania. Now there's no other pay-per-views in between. There's no other big events in between that Monday from after No Way Out. You have WrestleMania, so you know they're going to do something at the end of the show to kind of really hold the viewers to make sure they watch Raw the next day, and then storylines will develop into further, and then we'll figure out from there what's going to end up in Houston.
Guys, you can get the live chat room at WZROnline.com/chat. Lots and lots and lots of people in there tonight. Me and Jose are in there as well. We'll do some chat outs here in just a little bit. We're going to run down
signs together and mock them and say some really cruel things. I mean, I've said it ringside a couple of times, and I heard people say about mothers, fathers, families, wives, uncles, kids, but the reality is, as a wrestler, you're going to go into it, especially if Canada is one of the hottest, countries when it comes to the fans. I love it when they tape a show up there because those fans are going to be hot. And unfortunately, someone, as a fan, female, I thought I saw a male in there in the mix as well, went beyond the limit, went beyond the railing, I guess you can say, and said something probably to provoke him. Exactly, the video that I've seen so far only kind of just shows you the worst part, her getting pretty much knocked down. I don't think Jericho, it didn't, I looked at it a couple of times. I don't think Jericho purposely tried to punch her. I think it was just more of Jericho, hey, get out of my face type of approach, and, unfortunately, things contacted with each other. But I don't, a buddy of mine is a cop here in Stanford, and we sat down and looked at the video, and he doesn't think there's enough ground to be charged. Again, you're being provoked. You have 25 people rushing to your car. A good lawyer, and especially WWE's lawyer, will clearly show that to a judge, and the judge will simply clearly dismiss the case. There's been incidents in the past that I can't think off the top of my head that's a lot worse than this, and people try to sue, WWE, and it doesn't work that way, and especially if you're going out there and spitting, because technically that's an assault. So here in the States, I don't know how it is in Canada, but you spit in someone's face, you're technically assaulting someone. So if anyone should go to jail, it should be her.
Guys, I have breaking news here on WZR Radio from TNA. Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com is reporting that Lance Rock, Lance Hoyt, and Petey Williams have both been released from TNA Wrestling.
Wow.
Lance Rock and Lance Hoyt, according to him, was released this afternoon. Petey Williams lost a loser leaves town match, and this will indeed be his last match with the company, according to Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com. So once again, Lance Hoyt, Lance Rock, and Petey Williams have been released from TNA Wrestling as of earlier this evening or this afternoon. That's breaking news here on WZR Radio from Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Also, just checked my Nielsen ratings numbers. The Monday Night Raw rating scored a 3.4 cable rating. That is down from last week's 3.6. Right here, let me see. They have a big table set up here. I have a login. Do you have a Nielsen login account or no? I should give you this.
I know the first hours, at least the email that I saw was 3.34 the first hour.
3.34 and 3.50 was the second hour. So Monday Night Raw did a 3.4 rating. Sorry, man, I didn't want you to.
It's all good.
I didn't want to cut you off with Jericho, man. Just wanted to get that breaking news out here on
nice breaking news report, though.
Yeah, right. We needed some music as well.
It's an emergency broadcast system.
Yeah.
Breaking news for you. So this way, I know. I just step back and sit in my chair and let you go with your flow.
Yeah, no doubt.
At the end of the day, but that's kind of like how I feel about the Chris Jericho situation.
Yeah, that's we kind of agree. She kind of deserved it. She got what she got, and that's what it is. Ow!
Right,
live, listen to this, live, baby, live, huh? Yeah. All right, hey, all right, let's run down some quick news. I'm going to try to do it in 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to open up the live phone calls because that's how we do it here on WZR Radio. Tuesday nights from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WZROnline.com and a host of other websites. Hey, the Associated Press released an article yesterday. My Network TV, basically they're going to turn into a rerun network starting next fall. this fall, actually. SmackDown is still going to air. That's going to be the one program on there that's going to, continue to be taped on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, and new shows. That will be their only original programming. So they're just going to air like Law and Order, Criminal Intent, stuff like that, and like original series. You know what I mean? And it's just going to be reruns of that. And they used to do something on Saturday night, and all their affiliates are now going to have Saturday night to kind of broadcast their own local shows. You know what I mean? He's actually going to be on the undercard. No, it's not the undercard. Well, Roy Jones Jr. is the promoter, and they're going to have mixed boxing and MMA. Seth Petrozelli, guy that used to co-host WZR radio here. He actually knocked out Kimbo Slice in 14 seconds on the final Elite XC show, card on CBS a couple months ago before they went out of business. Strikeforce actually bought him out, so we'll have MMA on CBS here pretty shortly, probably in the next couple months. They're bringing that back, so you guys will be able to see some free fights with it'll just be a different name. Strikeforce won't be Elite XC, but it'll be the same fighters with Kimbo and all those guys. They'll be back, so you'll be able to catch him. Seth Petrozelli is going to be on the card with a bunch of other guys. Mixed boxing and MMA. That'd be cool to see, you know what I mean?
It'll be different, a little different.
All right, I'll keep going with news, man, because, we only got a couple minutes here. I want to take a couple live phone calls. People have been holding on here for a minute. Some backstage TNA news. We got tons of callers, man. Let me go. I'll just do the news real quick. You just kind of, and then we'll take phone calls. Ric Flair going to TNA. They sent feelers out to him, guys, but Rick is on really good terms with Vince and WWE, and especially, as evidenced by his appearance on Raw last night. I don't expect him to be back, or to debut in TNA. You know what I mean? They're going to continue to send him feelers, but he's not going to do it. He's on too good of terms with Vince. Yeah, not happening, no doubt. Awesome Kong, she's working through a bad back. She needs knee surgery as well, from what I was told by a friend of hers. She's held that off for a while now, but it's getting close to where she's going to need it here in the next few months for sure. So she may be missing some time here in the near future. Couple fired WWE stars that were backstage. Gavin Spears, Sean Spears is his real name. He was backstage at Against All Odds. I guess he broke his hand. PWInsider.com had this. They also, Stevie Richards was backstage at last night's Impact taping. He's scheduled to debut shortly with the organization. Val Venus has also talked with TNA. He's going to be with Ring of Honor right now as a wrestler, but more as a producer agent role in Ring of Honor. But he's also going to be on the main roster as well. But he's had talks with TNA. Don't know if anything is going to come to that. Stevie Richards would debut before him if one of the two was to debut in TNA. Stevie Richards looks like a lock right now, whereas Val Venus has only been talked about. What else? We got No Way Out. We'll run down No Way Out right before we go off the air. But nothing else is big enough. So let's take some live phone callers. Anything that we missed, or anybody that wants to get anything off the chest, whatever's going on. We got a caller from Florida right now, been on the line for a long time. Thanks for holding, man. You're live on WZR Radio. What's on your mind?
Hey, I don't know if this is news or anything, but I was on InternetMovieDatabase.com, and under Christian, Jason Rizzo, it says he is going to appear at the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, and he's listed under Christian, not Christian Cage.
Yeah, well, when he comes to WWE, he's going to go under the name Christian. The only reason he was using the Cage name was because Christian is a trademark of WWE, so he put on he added the Cage to it. So when he comes to WWE, he is going to be going under the name Christian. As far as whether that's confirmed, that really doesn't confirm anything. The last I had actually heard, and I put it up on the website, was that Christian had not signed his WWE deal. It was not signed. Plan A was for Christian to be the attacker of Matt Hardy, or of Jeff Hardy. They went to Plan B because it leaked out to the internet, and so many people had expected. There were actually loud chants in Detroit of Christian when everybody thought he was going to run out. He might be Matt Hardy, and but I am under the impression that he is not signed to his WWE contract, where he's just taking some time off. And you know, when the time comes when he's ready to debut, he will sign. You've heard otherwise?
No, it's the same story that what you're hearing right now. I'm just saying, as the caller, you know, finding that on the website, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, speaking of callers, we have a caller right now from Cali. What's up, my man?
Yeah, what's up? You know, I actually had one question, but I heard...
Where you been, man? It's been a minute. It's been, it's been a couple of weeks. I was wondering if you got lost or something.
Yeah, I know. Every time I try to call late, hey, you know.
Yeah.
My fault.
Oh, no, what's up, man?
I had only one question, but I heard what you guys were talking about earlier today and what the caller just said. I have more questions now, but one of them, I have a couple, and that's it.
I do not see WWE suffering whatsoever if, God forbid, Vince McMahon is no longer running the show or deceased or running it on a day-to-day basis. It's the company itself runs on us. We're really the fuel to run this plane, and at the end of the day, you're going to continue seeing WWE develop.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That was perfect. What is that? Oh dang! Turn the speakers. What was
just
that?
Had an intruder.
An intruder, right? All right, hey, we'll continue to take callers here, and then I want to run down No Way Out real quick before we go off the air. Take the next caller from, what is it, Southern Texas? You're live on WZR Radio. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm just calling in to say that X-Pac fucking rules.
X-Pac rules, buddy. Does
we have an X-Pac mark.
X-Pac mark. No, you know what? X-Pac is actually a good buddy of mine. I haven't talked to him in quite some time. He used to be a guest here on WZR Radio. We've had him numerous times. Sean Waltman is I should actually send an email his way here in the future and see what he's up.
I've just been told that was actually Scott Hall that called in. Scott Hall just called in.
Could have been. You never know. Hey, we have a caller. Call you live on WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to talk to you about Randy Orton and the whole storyline he has with Stephanie McMahon. Do you think it's possible that, everybody knows that Stephanie McMahon is married to Triple H? Is it possible that it might be Triple H versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
What is that? He asked a legitimate question, but what is that music after?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't want him to ask that question.
Oh, whatever. Hey, so Triple H versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania? You know what? Here's the thing. Last night on Raw, there was a backstage segment with Stephanie, and he said, "Are you sure you're going to be all right?" Da-da-da-da-da-da. They had big plans for the weekend, this and that. And they never revealed who was on the line, right? They never revealed who it was, but all indications were, the opinion that I got while watching it, the gist of it, what's the word I'm looking for, man? The feeling that I got.
Vibe. I like the vibe.
All right. The vibe that I like that too. The vibe that I got while watching that it was Triple H on the other end of that line. I don't know. So it's a possibility that they could bring in Triple H and Orton and have the thing with the legacy, man. Remember the Evolution with Triple H and Randy Orton and Batista in there? It's a possibility, no doubt about it, that they could do Triple H versus Orton, and they hinted at it last night. So it's a good question. Do you think they'll go that route, Jose? Triple H versus Orton, big match at WrestleMania.
It could, but I just, it's short. you're building this big match in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks. I mean, what would have been nice if not the Undertaker was going to show up on Raw to fight against Randy Orton. It would have been nice if last week she was on the phone mysteriously talking to someone. She definitely wasn't talking to her father, because there is a difference between her conversations with her father and someone else. And with her father, she's more precious. She's more.
She would have told me I love you. She would have said, all right, I love you. This and that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty good question.
No, it's a really good question, especially after the angle they did last night on Raw. Like I said, it came across to me that it was Triple H on the other end of that line. So Triple H it's a possibility. They hinted. I'll say this: they hinted at it last night on Raw that it could have been Triple H, on the other end of that phone, and